Dain Lopian and Rabbi Singer have always been very precise in understanding the human experience. And one thing that Rabbi Singer and Dain Lopian have shared many a time, especially first hearing this from Dain Lopian, is that when we get married, people have this idea that we are a soul, two souls, separate souls. Now we become one soul. So Dain Lopian says, yeah, I mean, it could be on a spiritual level, but physically we're two separate individuals. Two separate individuals. And he actually holds that it's dangerous to have this idea that, you're one being, you're one being. No. Dain Lopian and Rabbi Singer would say, no, you are two separate beings. And to make a strong home, you have to constantly be two separate beings, two separate, strong, healthy beings working together. And I saw by Rabbi Singer how he would say to his Rebbetzin, I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you hang around. Because the reality is people are leaving each other the whole time. It's like a bracha. It's like you're staying in the house with me. It's unbelievable. We have all of these expectations. And one expectation is obviously what I do, they do, what they do, I do. And where this is going is as following, that it's so important to allow our spouse to have space, to give our spouse space and time for themselves. You see, my friend, sometimes we hear very often couples, they could be together for months and years. And as they start to settle down, sometimes there's a reality where at first people did things together. They always were together. They socialized together. They shared interests and they followed each other. And that's all well and nice. But you know what? We're two individuals living together in the same home. And that's the chiddush. The chiddush is we can retain our identity and we could still always be strong, two healthy individuals. And as we know, things change in life. We sometimes move into one interest, moving into and out of that interest to another interest. Sometimes we can have a different set of friends. Sometimes we like to do different sorts of things. Well, what do we do about it? So something which I believe is so important, which sometimes does not happen enough, is to make sure we give in a healthy way the space and time that the spouse needs for them to be them. For them to be them. The Biala Rebbe Shlita, very, very, very makbid, just as Dain Lopian Shlita and Rabbi Singer Zichron Livracha, to give the other the time and space for them to relax or to explore hobbies, learn new skills, whatever it may be. So Dain, the Biala Rebbe is very makbid. Let your wife go out. He would say to me, encourage your wife to go out once a week, just even if she wants by herself. If she wants to go out with you, fine. But let her go out. Let her be with friends. Let her go and listen to a shir. Let her spend, let her spend after the children are born, after our children are born. He was very makbid. Let her spend a night with Baruch Hashem, my grandparents. Let her spend a night away. And sometimes, for certain people, it's very difficult. It's not always easy to give that space. We become very needy, or we've got our expectations and assumptions. But it's okay to be given our space, to be by ourselves with ourselves sometimes, or to go to our set of friends that are not mutual friends. And it's okay to give the other that nutritious space as well. To give that space to be learning new skills, exploring, or just relaxing. And even, for example, I know I like to rock climb and run around and do crazy things, and my wife does as well a little bit, but sometimes she just likes to be by the sea. I'm not so keen on the sea, so she can go to the sea, but I encourage her, and she lets me do what I want, and we invite each other. It's like we let each other, we give each other that space. I think the word "I let her" is the wrong word. It's not controlling, but she'll ask, or I'll encourage. I think, go spend time with yourself. Go to the sea, sit by the beach, let the water come onto your feet. Good, enjoy. And as we said, sometimes we miss this. Sometimes we get jealous. Oh, they're going out. And it's important to give the spouse the time and space without getting stroppy or jealous or getting caught up in ourselves. Because when an individual is stronger and healthier, it's good for the relationship. It's good for the relationship. And sometimes when we become drained, when we don't have that space, we don't have that time to relax, we don't have that space which is supported, it's like, yeah, go do it. Obviously in a healthy way, but when we don't have that, relationships become more difficult. People become agitated and they become exhausted. But when that space is given in a healthy way, they're refreshed and stronger. It energizes the relationship. So think about that. Think about that until the next recording. The sacred gift of giving the other the space and time that they need, that they want, that they deserve. And allow the magic of that refreshing coming to energize the relationship. And don't be afraid to have your space and time for yourself in a healthy way. Sometimes we may say, I'll give it to you, but what about me? You need to care for yourself as well. Both parties in a relationship both need to care for each other, to make sure that I want you to have that space. I want you to have that time if you want it. And you say each one's blessing each other and inviting each other to have that space on time, once a month, once every couple of months, once a week, whatever you decide in your relationship. But to realize, to allow your partner to have space to be themselves, so critical, so important. And may it bring such blessing and goodness to the home.